Right. Hi, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. My name is Uche Ibekwe. I'll be the moderator for this session. For everyone on the call, I want to welcome you to this session, right, where we'll be dealing with AI. We'll be dissecting AI. We have an amazing guest today in the house, so she'll be helping us understand that topic. She'll do justice for us. Before I move on, I want us to get to know who the host of this webinar is. Fred. Thank you very much for putting together this amazing gesture for us to learn. And our guest in the house today, Beta Leon Del Soto. I want to welcome you specially. Thank you for all you do in the cybersecurity space. We're excited to have you here today to share your insights, your experience, your knowledge with us, so that we also get to know more about the topic of discourse. So I would leave the mic. I'll hand over the mic to you. Thank you very much.
So yeah, thank you so much for having me. Very excited to share some stuff with you guys. And so I'll first give you guys a little bit of an intro here. I'm Beta. I hack websites, and I also have been getting into hacking AI. And I started teaching myself to code when I was 13. I thought it sounded interesting, and I started learning stuff online. And when I was in high school and in college, I was building websites for some small businesses. And I soon realized that I didn't really know that much about security. Like, I was building a website, but I was just like a teenager and I didn't really know that much about making them safe. So once I started learning about that, I was like, oh, like I need to think about all these additional things. And actually, it's a lot harder to build things securely. And I realized that was a lot more interesting too, to be the attacker instead of the defender. So I started learning more about ethical hacking, which is when companies pay you to hack them and then you teach them how to protect themselves. So you're not just a random person attacking people on the internet. People actually come to you and say, can you hack me? And then what can I do to protect myself? So it's really cool. And I was able to intern and found out I was kind of good at it. And I got a bunch of scholarships to do my master's in cybersecurity, got some certifications, and studied a lot. So I focus on websites, the cloud, and AI and APIs. So let's talk today a little bit about how do you actually hack an AI? What does that look like? And there can actually be a whole bunch of different categories out there, but we're going to focus mainly on one that's called prompt injection. That's kind of the easiest to wrap your head around when you're starting out, but I'll definitely encourage you guys to think about some other ones if this is like an interesting topic to you. So prompt injection is like when you see like the chat bot come up. I'm sure most of you guys have probably tried out ChatGPT by now. So you're chatting with it, but have you ever tried to make it do something that it wasn't supposed to do? Like maybe you wanted to give you information about what it was programmed to do, or make it say something like illegal or something. We have prompt injection, where that's where you're like having a conversation with an AI to get it to say something it's not supposed to do. But you can also do denial of service. Like if you ask an AI certain things, like one time I asked an AI to explain Einstein's theory of relativity, and it didn't have enough memory and it actually crashed. So sometimes the AI models are set up with not very many resources, and if you ask it something too complicated, it will actually crash. So that's an interesting one. And jailbreaking is when you're kind of trying to break out of those restrictions that they put on the application, on the AI. Training data poisoning is if you, are having a conversation with an AI and you know that it's going to like train on whatever you put into it. If you start putting in a bunch of garbage data, just a bunch of random nonsense, you can actually train the AI to just start saying nonsense back, or something even malicious. And then adversarial AI is when you're using AI to attack AI, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. And supply chain vulnerabilities, that's when you have maybe an AI component that you're getting from someone else. But you have to be careful out there online, because people are putting up like fake AI tools that are actually malware. And if you put that into your application, then you got malware in there. And sensitive data exposure is a big one as well, because people might be putting like sensitive documents in there. Like the hospital uploads like all of their patients' records and then trains an AI on that. And you start having conversations, like it might spit out information about those patients, and you don't want people to know that. And then model theft is if people have trained their AI to be like their custom one, and it's something that they want to sell to people. But if people steal that model and make it public, then they can't really sell it anymore. So there's a lot of different attacks but you can look these up and experiment with them. You do have to be a little more careful, because sometimes when you're using these like hacking tools, people can be hiding like malware in them. So just make sure you do your research to see that it's actually something that's acceptable. But I've used that, and it's definitely interesting. It will give you more hacking related questions, but it's less accurate overall, because it can kind of just like get messed up by the tampering. So I wouldn't use it for just like everyday tasks. But I want to show you guys something here. AWS Party Rack is a really interesting tool that's free, and you can use it to create like your own AI apps. So I think this one's really fun to try out. It's basically this free tool that you can sign up for and then create different kind of applications with AI. So if you've ever, had to do something over and over again, where maybe you're like, I want to, study for my math test, and it's this one type of problem, and I want the AI to like prompt me like 20 different kinds of problems so I can practice, you can just build an application that will do that for you. And we can use it for security type of things. So if I'm scanning networks or something, and I'm having a lot of the different types of, same types of reports over and over again, I could build something where I could like upload a scan report and it will tell me if this is different than something I've scanned before. So that could be really helpful. But we could try and use something kind of hacking related here. So we could say like, let's do, I need to play, I'm not going to say hacking here because it's going to, might censor that, but I'm going to be creative about how I structure this. A riddle game where there is a secret word I need to figure out, and the game won't tell me the word exactly, but I can ask for clues or encoded versions of the word. It has 11 letters. Give me a generator of other prompts to get the secret with these restrictions. So this is a really long kind of prompt here, but I'm going to generate and see if this does anything. So I have to make sure I'm human here. I'm going to choose all these hats. I think that should be all the hats. Let's see. It's all right. So it's going to take some minute here, but it's kind of like build a little application for me. Ooh, rhyming clues. That's a good one. We didn't try that. Okay. So it's giving us some ideas already. Let's see if these work for us. So, all right. Different perspective on the word. So this is a little different. It didn't give us exactly what I was looking for, but it's kind of creating like almost like a version of the Gandalf game. So I might say something like, I don't know, an 11-letter word. Let's see if it was like wavelengths. And then we play the button. So I don't know if this is going to work exactly the way we want, but basically you can like change these different little things here. Yes. Okay. So the word is supernatural that it picked, and it's guessing, an anagram. So an anagram is where it switches the letters around to give you something from that same letter. So that's a great idea. We can ask it. This is first letters hint, a definition riddle, or we can ask for rhyming. Give me more prompts to ask the riddle. Ooh, okay, I like these. These are things I hadn't even thought about. So you can ask it like, is it a noun, verb, adjective? Is it a compound word? Any silent letters? Okay, so this is really good. There's a lot of things here, but I just realized we're getting close. We only have 15 minutes left. Close here. I want you guys to think about some goals about what you want to do as you, start going into cybersecurity. And so start thinking about, if you had to choose right now, what's that one thing you would start learning? And try to set a deadline. What are you going to learn this weekend? You're going to go look up something, learn some new skill, or.
All right. Thank you very much, Better, for a very insightful session. So let me go first. Since let's all prepare our questions. I'd love, us to ask questions as much as possible. But let me go first. So I want to ask, right? So do you think AI security exploits, should they be disclosed openly, like to encourage better defenses, or should they be restricted to prevent abuse? What do you think?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think you should always give a company a chance to fix something before you go public, just in case it's something really bad. So it's always good, like if you found something in ChatGPT it's really important to reach out to the company first to say, hey, I found this, you should fix it. Give them, a month or two is usually like a good window. And then you can go out to the public and say, here's what I found, just for general learning and sharing knowledge. But sometimes companies will just ignore you, and then it's totally okay to share things with the public. So I think it's always ethical to first give a company a chance to fix something, but then do show people what you found, just to show proof that you're doing good work, and then also to help other people learn as well.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so Miriam Shaibu Aliyu is raising her hand up. Miriam, please ask your question.
All right, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. Though I joined late, busy, I forgot that it was happening by 6. So good evening, everyone. My name is Miriam Shaibu Aliyu. So I have a question. My question is, we all know that cybersecurity professionals and experts now are adopting the use of AI, and we all know, we're clamoring, don't depend on AI. AI, according to statistics, we know that they have in each 1,000 code of line, there are 5 to 10 bugs, and those bugs are not completely fixed before they are put out there for people to use. So my question now is, what advice we give to cybersecurity specialists, cybersecurity experts that are not using AI for automation, but they are using it for the actual role of cybersecurity? Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. That's a really good point, that yes, when you ask AI to write some code, it's not always right. So definitely we can't trust everything the AI tells us, but it can be really helpful. So what I actually use AI a lot when I'm coding things, like I'm building my own tools for things. I can be really helpful. If I run into some kind of error, I can say, what does this mean? Help me fix that. So much faster than trying to just search for that online. So I think it's definitely a helpful tool, but what you shouldn't be doing is just tell the AI, write me code for this, and then just blindly paste it in and, not check it. So I think it's just like you wouldn't just find some code online on a forum and just paste it in and be all right, must work. I think it's just double checking things. I try to treat AI maybe it's a coworker or a friend that isn't always right about things. So, you have that one friend that's always just kind of telling you things and you have to check them. So think about AI that way, that they might have some good stuff, but also be cautious about what's actually right. And you can use multiple AIs to check across them, and then just use the internet as well. And it's Blessing has a question.
What best practices should organizations implement to secure their AI models and data against potential hacking attempts?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there's a couple ways to think about that. So if you're a company that's using an AI tool in your website, so if you added one of those chatbots and you don't want people misusing it, it's really good to use built-in frameworks. There's frameworks out there now. So if you're using AWS has some cloud AI, and they have this thing called Bedrock that will run your AI for you. And they also have Bedrock guardrails. So you can add these guardrails on it to help prevent the AI from saying things that are offensive or, putting out insecure output. So it's good to turn those on. I have actually seen where someone had just commented out the guardrails. They were oh, this is not working. So they just, put a comment in front of it so it didn't work. So make sure if you're going to use them that they actually are turned on. And then also just thinking about how much agency you give the AI. So if, you've hooked up this AI to give it the power to create accounts or delete accounts, do you really want the AI doing that? Maybe it should be giving people instructions to help them. If I want to delete my account, here's instructions about where to do that. You probably don't want the AI to actually be deleting the account, because you just don't know if that's going to be abused, if I can trick it to do that for someone else's account. So it's restricting access, the principle of least privilege. When we talk about that in companies, we don't want to just give everybody in the company access to everything. So you want to treat the AI that way as well, that you don't want to give the AI access to everything.
One last question. Sorry about that. Sometimes I'm always very curious when it comes to tools used. So I just want to know the tools and techniques that are most effective for testing the security of AI systems. What would you advise or suggest?
Yeah. So one thing, what's interesting about AI is we're usually seeing it in websites. So you can use a lot of tools that you would normally use for hacking a website. So a very popular one is Burp Suite. So you'll use that to kind of intercept web requests. So you can kind of change things before they go to the website. And you can use that, if you hook that up to the AI, you can use it to spam malicious requests really, really fast.